Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the stream. Just going to get over the formalities real quick so we can just deal with it and be on our way. Nothing I say on this channel is financial advice. The information of this channel is provided for education and information purposes only. Please read through this so that you are aware that I am not a licensed financial professional and I'm just some guy on YouTube and who's figured out how to trade and wants to teach the world. So, not financial advice, education only. All right, cool. We will knock that out, and let's get up. Oh wait, we need to get up some charts here. I'm running here kind of blind. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's see, read over here in the chat. Joseph, good to have you here. From Ireland. I didn't realize you were from Ireland. Good to have you here. Chris, good to have you. Lou, Pre, Tony, Craig, Salome, Kenan. All of you tuning in, thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate every single last one of you. And let's see. Hello. Good having you all here. Okay, so I've been doing these streams now for a little bit, and I always like to start off with some kind of instructional value, right? I don't want to just jump straight into the watch list. I want to give you all some kind of period of instruction, whether it's 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and just give you another tool for the toolbox, all right? I try to do this every single week, and over time, my hope is that, those of you that tune in every single week, I just fill your toolbox with stuff, and, you can just learn as much as humanly possible just from watching these streams or watching the videos or whatever. And today, my topic is definitely going to be opening range initial balance. Today is Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday, and I'm going to show you kind of my perspective on the opening range and initial balance. To simplify, Monday makes a range. All right, it makes a range, it makes a high and a low. And then you hear me say, well, Tuesday's the initial balance, but what the heck does that mean? We break out of Monday's range. What does Tuesday do? Well, that's exactly what I look for. Where does Tuesday close? Okay, in this case, they've closed on the outside of the opening range, which means as of Tuesday, we have an opening range breakout. So on Wednesday, I would come to the screen and look for evidence. I would look for a high of day trade. I would be looking for some kind of reason to take a capitulation, either long squeeze or a capitulation not parabolic, but like straight down, right? Capitulating trend trade. Something along those lines. If we close back on the inside of the opening range, I've found that the probability of them going back to retest the other end of that range goes up exponentially. I'm not saying every week. I'm not saying every pair or anything like that. But if there is a breakout that fails on Tuesday and they pull back inside of that range, you can get a day 2 trend trade back towards the high of the week on Wednesday. Usually they will come in some kind of parabolic move or whatnot. Yep. All right, so if I go back through the weeks, you're going to see that I'm not going to say that I'm right because that sounds kind of arrogant, but Tuesday closed outside the range. Wednesday, you get a parabolic move. Tuesday does not break out of Monday's range. Really don't care that much for it. Okay. Tuesday breaks out of Monday's range and parabolic move from the low of the day. And this is just me grabbing a random pair, pound US dollar, and just kind of roaming through. Closed back on the outside, and on Wednesday, yes, they did go back up, but sure enough, parabolic move, okay? So it's not always going to present in the exact same way. If the market was cookie cutter, then we would all just be bajillionaires roaming around, okay? But the opening range, depending on where it closes on Tuesday on that initial balance day, is going to give you a lot of information coming into Wednesday. The second thing I look for, Friday, okay? After we have our opening range, and I told you that, you need 3 pushes out of consolidation. Essentially, the opening range for the week is just consolidation. So if I start getting drives out of that consolidation, I can look for 3 pushes out of consolidation, 3 levels for a large move back down on Friday. It's going to present differently each time. 1 drive, 2 drives, and your third on Friday for the large scale reversal. I'm not cherry picking this. I'm actually just going back. This is the first time I've even tried this on the GU. Same exact process coming into Friday out of Monday. 1 drive down, 2 drives down, 3rd drive down on this Thursday, reversal on Friday. Okay, and it's not always going to present like this. Like I said, sometimes there won't be a reversal on Friday. Sometimes the reversal will come on Monday. But if you have 3 drives out of consolidation, out of the opening range, the probability for a reversal on Friday goes up. Okay, and the only two presentations that I'm looking for, like I said, are the higher high, 3 pushes back into the low, short squeeze, or parabolic trend trades. All right, those are the only 2 styles of presentation that I look for. And that's it. That's how you can gauge what's going to happen on Wednesday, or what could happen based off of probability on Wednesday, and what could happen on Friday based off of probability. Where's the volume trapped on Friday? Did they close on the inside of the opening range or the outside on Tuesday? And there is a little bit of value for this live stream. Could I apply this to UCAD? If I can find it, because I'm blind. Not really, but there it is. Let's see here. All right, they closed on the out. Like I said, it does not work every single week. All right, nothing is foolproof. And it reversed. Good stuff. But that does give you 1 drive out of the opening range on this Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, and they smacked the low 1 last time on Friday, but they did not follow through. All right, so maybe just not the best scenario. Let's see. Wow, 2nd week in a row, UCAD not looking too good as far as... They did continue, so there was a short trade, but not maybe the best, not ideal. That gives you 1 push out, 2nd push out, 1, 2, and 3 on Thursday. And like I said, it will not always reverse. All right. Look at all of the pairs. All right. I'm not saying all pairs, not all 40 pairs or 30 or however many is out there. Okay. But there's probably more, but it's about how is it setting up? Is it better than X, Y, and Z? I'm looking at market structure. I'm giving you not rules, but like ways to identify these trades just based off of the absolute most simple terms, right? Did they close on the outside of the opening range? Yes. Does that mean that I'm automatically like tomorrow I'm going to sell this market? No. No, no, no. Okay, if I have a high and a low, I'm still applying everything that I already know. I've got all my little tools in my tool chest, and I'm breaking them all out, and I'm seeing which one is going to work for me. We've made a lower low, then we made a lower low on the day. I'm looking for 3 pushes back up into the high. Look, they made a lower low again. Okay, I'm coming into my session now in New York. They've made a lower low. That means we're in a broken down market. I can look for a pump and dump. All right, and that's as simple as it is. Something else that you're going to find on Wednesday is when you have a really great Tuesday where you get a day 0 or a peak formation low, peak formation high, and it's very evident, very obvious that what they're doing. They've closed outside of the range, peak formation low, peak formation high, and they've just consolidated on the inside, get a lower high, lower low. Wow, I just showed you all this example. Phenomenal, Cameron. Good stuff, man. Okay, well, there's a Wednesday where it happened, and the trade was actually on Thursday, but this is a day 0. Here's your opening range. They did actually close back inside of the range, and they not quite down there, but they tested almost the low of the week. But the day zero setup is where they spike the high, they spike the low on the same day. Something like this, okay? Previous day's low's been hit, previous day's high's been hit, they've pulled back inside. Look at the following day. What happens? They split the range, and they start breaking out. Breakout, pullback, continuation. Breakout, pullback, continuation. Remember that little parabola? I told you all I'm not a mathematician, but I know what a parabola is, all right? The curvature. The curvature, and then it goes vertical, okay? Peak low, peak high, consolidation in the middle, and you start to get your little ascension. Okay, what time frame am I using? Thanks for answering. But I do use the 15-minute time frame for all of my analysis. Sometimes I'll glance over at the 1 hour. It looks nice. But I do all of my analysis typically on the 15-minute time frame. Entry time frame, I'm looking on the 1-minute chart. Wednesday, space, FOMC day. Yep. Story of CAD. Yeah, maybe it kind of looks like it's not behaving. That's all right. What's your 24 hours of range? I'm confused by your question, but these TradingView will do it automatically for you if you just go and you type in, or not even type in, you just click on, and then you can turn on your session breaks and turn them off. It'll do it automatically for you. Is the measurement in pips or points for opening? Yes, it is. It's in the PowerPoint. And I'm actually, this Saturday, my Saturday release video is going to be on opening range and initial balance. It's been a while since I made one of those videos. You have a 2-minute chart for, I have a 2-minute chart only because TradingView has decided that if I go back too far, I'm not allowed to view the 1-minute chart. That's legitimately the only reason I have the 2-minute chart. Can you go over opening range and initial balance on oil today and yesterday? Sure thing. Is TradingView free? Yes, it is. Unless you pay for it, and then you get more features. I pay like the minimum, just so that I don't have to see the ads. Is there high-low open close for... I don't know what you mean. Okay. So, I've gone through, I've given a little bit of value. Opening range, initial balance. That's like skimming the surface of what you need. But, hey, I'm doing a whole entire video on Saturday. If you are interested in looking into the opening range and initial balance, I will be going into a lot of detail on Saturday. Okay. Now, this is the portion of the stream where I get into, I'm going to actually go through and do all the analysis on these pairs. If you have questions at any time, or if you see something and you just want to point it out, because I know that Space will, please feel free to do so over in the comments, and I really do greatly appreciate all the participation. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a nearly record-breaking 116 viewers and only 48 likes on the stream. If you could do me a huge favor and press that like button, it will really help the algorithm and get more people in and watching these streams, and I can get more participation, and we can get more and more out of them. All right, I'm going to start off on, maybe we'll start off on some trashier pairs. You know, we'll get rid of the pairs that I'm not even say trashy because that's kind of rude, but you know, the pairs that I don't really care to trade, we'll start off on those, and we'll go from there. Australian dollar, US dollar, big dump. And then, what is this? Not quite a first green day over here on Monday, but it was an inside day. And now we've closed back on the inside of the opening range. All right. Does that mean that the price will continue to go down? No. Does that mean that it will go up? No. I have a high and I have a low. They broke into the upside. They broke into the upside again. So we have maybe 2 drives up. They have not retested the low of the inside bar, which means that these people down here are still in profit. We have gaps between price and a level. I find that a little strange. I'm going to be completely honest. We have a really big dump, and it almost looks like maybe this is like the capitulating climax kind of move. I have no idea. They could just continue tomorrow. Let's look at the 3-day cycle. Today we had a breakout. It failed. That means that today is day 1 in the 3-day cycle. We have no signal day, but we do have multiple breaks to the upside. Not to say that this can't go up tomorrow. All right. Previously, though, we did have... No, we did not. I take that back. All right. Day 1, 3-day cycle. One of my lesser favorite pairs. So tomorrow will be day 2. First green day. Maybe. Usually, hey, so for first green day, this is what I prefer to see. They trade down first and then go consolidation. I am not willing to say that is a first green day. I think this could potentially be a break in structure to the upside, maybe. And then we go back to retest the last high, which is all the way up here. That's potential, kind of play. Maybe this turns into a rectangle at the low of the week. I think that's a solid idea. But I don't think that this was a first green day. The line on your chart, how can I install on my MT? Are you talking about my previous day's high indicator, or are you talking about my day separator? All right, so day 1. New Zealand, US dollar, one of my lesser favorite pairs. We have inside day and a day that has now failed after that inside day. So inside bar traders are still jumping up and down with happiness. Breakout failed. That gives us day 1, 3-day cycle. In this pair, that might be a first red day. All right, we're making lower lows, lower highs. We've pumped back up, came out of consolidation, and a few nice little pushes here. I don't know. So by definition, we now have a inside day, a day that's traded above at the high of the current week and closed back on the inside. After a little bit of pumpage, pump, I think I will. And we've closed back on the inside now of the opening range. I'll give it a first red day. All right, we're in a down moving market, so that's good. Lower lows, lower highs. I like that. Not that I really like this pair, but as far as like a decent analysis, hey, we've broken out. The breakout failed of this inside day. We've come back inside of the opening range. The probability of them retesting the low, I would say, goes up. All right, US Swiss, again, I actually like this pair, and from time to time I will find myself trading it. Does this work with stocks? I don't trade stocks, so I don't know. But the 3-day cycle was developed, I believe, with the stock market. And if somebody remembers the name of the book, because I have the book, but I can't remember off the top of my head, Taylor Trading Technique. That's what it is. I think he developed it with stocks. Let's see here. So Tuesday, we've traded, I'm not going to say completely on the inside. We do have a wick to the previous day's high, which means it's not an inside day. We have a day 1 over here. And this is, if you watch my last video on, oh man, I'm just boogering things. If you watch my last video on the 3-day cycle, this was a first green day, not a first green day, but a day 1 in the 3-day cycle, okay? They've traded down, they've traded back through the level, and people are probably looking to go long here. And that's correct. But we are still making lower lows and lower highs within the day. So that means I don't go long. But they have retested trap volume now and then traded back up through this level. So this could be a break to the upside. If they don't start making lower lows again, this might not be a bad short squeeze pattern for a higher high, higher low kind of scenario. I'm also looking at, we have peak formation high. Was this at the high of the week? Oh, it sure was. This is US Swiss? Nice. All right, so this is a peak formation high. Breakout failed. Immediately on the following day, peak formation low, breakout failed. Now we're trading back down into the low of the peak formation. I think that's what I'm going to roll with on this. We have a break in structure, maybe, to the upside, and we're going back down towards the low. I kind of like that. It could just, continue to capitulate tomorrow, and I'll eat my words. But I think that the groundworks for a setup are there, and I'm rolling with that. End of day consolidation, we have a low. Oh, no. No good high to really work off of. So I would like to see at least a high and a low be developed. Some kind of high and a low formed. So end of day consolidation is a little rough. All right. I've lost my mind. Day 1. Day 2, nearly an inside day, but it wasn't. Tomorrow will be day 3. Make sure I haven't lost my mind. No signal day that I can see. Looking good. All right, day 2. Or sorry, day 3. Hey Jason, how are you doing? Search on Google. This is what I get for reading backwards. Something line. First red day failed breakout. First red day is a failed breakout. No, not necessarily. A failed breakout is when they have solid candle closure below a level, such as, well, not such as, it is a previous day's level like this, and then they go back above it. That is a failed breakout. And if you are confused about that, my last video that I just did, it goes into detail about what I'm talking about. Does this work with stocks? Initial balance rejection? Bowlings. I'm sorry, I don't remember what this was in reference to. This is what I get for taking a while to scroll back. Monday wasn't a failed breakout. Yes, it was. Remember, Monday has no other range to go off of other than Friday. So if Monday fails above or below Friday's previous, the previous day's high and low, Monday broke out and failed, giving you day 1, the 3-day cycle. But then the next day it went back inside. You're talking about that back down below? Right, but we wouldn't know that, Jason. We would have no idea. It went back inside and closed down here, sure. But we have no idea, right? So I just continue the cycle. Day 1, day 2, and then today's day 3. Or tomorrow will be day 3. Ton of notes, good stuff. Yeah, that last video was pretty good. And it had a lot of different concepts to be explained. So Monday is a day 1 reset. Yes, that is correct. And to be honest, Jason, I would almost ignore the 3-day cycle at this point. Remember, I keep saying this, but if I get a peak formation high and then on the following day I get a peak formation low, they break out, fail breakout, and then they fail breakout again, I kind of stop paying attention to the 3-day cycle just a little bit, okay, just because of the pattern. I like to focus on the pattern. What's the pattern doing? The pattern's looking pretty good on this pair, and I kind of want to highlight it just so I remember tomorrow. But I'm liking this. All right, we're going to move on. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, 126 viewers in the stream and only 80 likes. The support is amazing, but if you all could just quickly hit that fancy little button, and I will continue. It really does help the stream, it helps the algorithm, and it really does help me, so I do appreciate it. Moving on, some of your favorite, or maybe some of your least favorite, US dollar, Canadian dollar. Let's look at what happened today. We have a breakout. Breakout failed. And we've gone back to the other end of the range. And instead of, just maybe going up halfway, something like that, we've actually broke out now to the upside of that range. So we've closed on the outside of the opening range. So tomorrow, either really the only two things that could happen are they break down and I'm wrong, or I'm right and it goes parabolic and we get a trend continuation back towards, what is this, Friday's high? Possibility. All right. I'm liking the fact that we have very well-defined highs and lows. We made a lower low. It's very obvious that they made a higher high. Okay, so I'm either right or I'm wrong. They broke this high. We get 3 pushes back down for trend continuation, parabolic move through Friday's high. Or it breaks down and I'm wrong and it keeps going down. Amazing. I mean, I know it sounds like, well, it could go up or it could go down, but it's based off of the opening range. And if I understand both scenarios, then I can plan for both. And I can understand, hey, if I'm wrong, let's just look somewhere else. Okay. Tomorrow we do have news. Oh, man, this guy's talking again. He's talking again. All right. I see. All right. So breakout, pullback. That's my idea for tomorrow. In fact, we've actually made a higher high again, which is good. 3 pushes back down, parabolic move. Day 1, 3-day cycle. First green day. Dump. First green day. Pump. And I definitely want to show you this because remember what I keep saying about, hey, this is consolidation, and if you get 3 pushes out, that's 3 pushes out of consolidation. Look for the reversal. Look at this pattern. This is not me being arrogant or like a jerk. It just shows up so much that I need to point it out. Look at this pattern. Drive, 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 reverse. Look at this pattern. Drive, 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 reverse. Notice what all 3 of these have in common. 1, well-defined highs and lows, 3 drives into the low. And 2, all of that work is being done outside of consolidation for the reversal. Okay? Just a little pattern that you can look for. And I've added 2 tools to your toolbox today in this live stream. And I've also now forgot what I was looking at. US dollar, Canadian dollar. First green day, day 1. Tomorrow will be day 2, 3-day cycle. And I'm going to put this into first green day. 3 pushes, look for reversal. Is that a rule of thumb? Outside of consolidation, it's, again, it's a tool in the toolbox. You're looking for trap volume. Maybe on day 3 of the 3-day cycle, day 1. Well, that would have been day 1 as well. But if it's day 3 of the 3-day cycle, or if you're at the low of the week or the high of the week and you get this kind of pattern, absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Can I look at GJ? I'm going to. It's one of the pairs that I look at. So real easy. I have a high, I have a low. This is my end of day consolidation. I'll project this across, something like this. Nice. I've identified market structure, 3-day cycle, and signal days. Moving on. Pound US dollar. Wow, that's I don't know. I don't even know where this is closed. It's closed back on the inside, but kind of not really. Okay. Yeah, this might be one of those days. It could go parabolic tomorrow, and I would just look at it and go, nice. I don't know. We're just going to put this back down here, and I'll just keep going. Maybe I'll come back to it. Hey, another hindsight trader. I'm not really sure what that means, but welcome to the stream. All right. Let's see. We have inside day on Monday. Trade live. Oh, nice. We've got one of those people here in the stream. I love to have you. Thank you for adding to the algorithm. All right. Inside day, we broke out. Day 2 of the week, and we've closed as a breakout of Monday. So now I have a high, and I've got a low. That gives me end of day consolidation and a very well-defined high and low to work from. Looking at Wednesday, based off of the opening range, we've come out of the opening range. We have a lot of space, thinking about both sides of the trade. Breakout traders down here have not been stopped out and might need to keep that in mind. But we've also closed on the outside of the opening range, which means where's the next place they could go? There's volume trapped up top. That might be an area. Mustache is elegant. I really do appreciate that. And there's somebody, I don't know if he's in here right now, he keeps calling it the stash of cash, and I just cannot stop laughing at that thought. I need to like make a meme or something. All right, we have going into Wednesday. I have my end of day consolidation. I have an idea based off what days of the week we're consolidating under a level. Also, this was a breakout of an inside day, which means that let's see. Okay, so we've already done 1 full expansion. We have not made it to 2. I'm liking this. All right, both sides of the trade, if it goes into a parabolic pattern and we're consolidating under this level, I would be happy to take a long. If it breaks down, starts making lower lows, I would look for 3 pushes back down into this level down here, and if it fails, then there's no trade for me. Euro USD. I was actually looking at I was trying to find a short today on Euro USD, and it just everything didn't present the way that I wanted it to today, and I actually did not take a trade. I don't know where to put this. Hold on. I need to figure out what day we were in the 3-day cycle. We had day 1 back here on Thursday, day 2 on Friday. Day 3 was an inside day. Everybody in the chat, if you have an inside day and it's day 3 of the 3-day cycle, sound's breaking up. If it's day 3 in the 3-day cycle and it's an inside day, what do I do with that day 3? If it's day 3 in the 3-day cycle and it's landed on an inside day, reset, kind of, not really. PB, next day, move it over. Y'all are killing it. You obviously either watch my videos consistently or you come to the streams enough. Amazing. Y'all are doing wonderful. Inside day on a day 3, you move it over. So today was day 3 of the 3-day cycle. That means that it's day 1 here. After the closure of this day, it is day 1, and tomorrow will be day 2. Just like that. Nailed it. You guys are fantastic. Really do appreciate the mass participation. Wow, 104 likes in the stream. That is record-breaking for any stream I have ever done. You all are fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm going to do gold. Let's get into gold. Fan favorite. We have a peak formation low, peak formation high back here on this Friday. Day 1, 3-day cycle. Breaks out, fails at the low of the current week. So we'll just throw that up there. First thing that jumped out at me. Day 2 turned into an inside day on Monday. Perfectly fine. This gives us an opening range high and low, something like this. Notice, wow, it's so funny because the exact same pattern. Where did I just see this? Was it this one? It looks kind of weird, right? It's like it's a reoccurring pattern, all right? It hasn't reversed, and I'm not saying that it will by any means. But that is the pattern. 3 pushes out of consolidation. So we have an opening range breakout. We've closed on the outside of the range. That means that we could see a move down. Let's see, we have low of last week down here. We have not broke it. I think it's mighty strange whenever we get these levels consolidating above. I have my end of day consolidation. We have a high and we have a low. So I've identified market structure now. Let's take a gander here. What day? This was day 2, so we have day 3 today. Instead of reversing on day 3, we've continued to go lower, and that gives us day 1. All right. Really nothing too amazingly special with gold. I'm not like, wow, this is phenomenal. Nothing's really super standing out with me right now. I'm really hoping to see one of these pairs present a, the golden setup, I think, on Tuesdays when they give you something like this. I really like seeing stuff like that. Just above high of month. All right, that's worth exploring. Let's take a look. Were you talking about low of month? I feel like maybe you just above high of month, or am I losing my mind? Yeah, low. Okay, yes. Just above the low of the current month. And we're about to start a new month too, which, that would kind of make sense. Let's go back down to the 15. Take a look. All right, yesterday was an inside day. Something to consider as well. Breakout traders have not been stopped out. This could come into play later in the week. I'm not saying it will now. We're about to start a new month. But I think I'm going to leave it just like this. Short squeeze parabolic, maybe. Market structure needs to tell me to go up. Right now it says it go down. Okay. I think that for me personally, we're making lower lows and lower highs. And I'm going to continue to roll with that. Trend is your friend until the end. I kind of don't like that saying. It's kind of annoying, but it's kind of true. We're making lower lows and lower highs. Everything in the middle is consolidation. We're outside of the opening range right now, looking for the move down. trending down since May 23rd. Yeah, it's been doing something since May 23rd. It's been doing some kind of weird range. Like, I kind of want to throw up every time I see this, like, whipsaw back and forth. Yeah, it's been doing something. Thiago, 225 since when? Since the high of the week? There we go. We'll do from here. Yes, which would also make sense. 3 levels of drop is down here at 300 pips. So we push down through that. That'd be, we would have 3 levels of 100, which would totally make sense coming off the low of the week. If I was looking for a trend continuation, okay, which I am, because we're on the outside of out of the range. But if we were to break to the upside, I know, hey, the high is all the way up here. We could get a retest. Okay, looking good. Also, Thiago, good to have you here. Good to see you. Okay, so day 1. I'm not seeing any signal day. So tomorrow is going to be day 2. I'll throw gold up there in day 2. Take a look at US 30. It did something today. It moved, that's for sure. You know, all these little drawings here removed. Man, we had a breakout. And it's kind of funny how these things kind of aligned. Is that a trading setup for tomorrow? No, absolutely not. So let's take a look at this week's range. But this is a pretty nice consolidation down at the lows. And I don't know, you know, low of week, low of month where we're at. But, June. So, yeah, I think we're down at the low of the month. So basically, we came down to the low of the month. We've gone to consolidation. Where did this month open? I think that's kind of a good question. Okay, so the month opened up all the way down here. Huh. Okay, so this month opened. And for those of you who have heard me talk about this, the openings of candles, whether it's the monthly candle, the weekly, the daily, the dang 15-minute, the 1 minute, the 1 second, if you have like a 30-second chart, I have no idea. When a candle opens up, and I keep talking about things coming out of consolidation, think about when a candle opens and then does something like this. Comes back down, you know, maybe 7 minutes into the candle, or maybe like into the 15-minute bar, right? Maybe like 10 minutes into the bar, you get an engulfment, which means that this candle is now pushed all the way back down, almost to where it's opened, and the candle's about to close. What just happened? That candle just turned into a giant wick up top, and you've got a bunch of people stuck, okay? So when you get these 15-minute bars opening, and you're on the 1 minute and you're trying to search for some kind of behavior, you are searching for a 3 push pattern on the 1 minute chart at the openings of new 1 hour candles, 15-minute candles. It could be 4 hour candle. 4 hour candle will open and you're going to see it a lot. Is this 5? No. 5 o'clock will open up and you'll start getting drives into an extreme. And then it'll flip. Where's 9 o'clock? Wow, look at that. 9 o'clock. So this now just turned into a big wick. Where's 9 o'clock? There's 9 right there. All of this down here is now a wick on the 4 hour chart. This is like little, again, more tools for the toolbox. And I need to continue because I just keep rambling and rambling and rambling. Where are we at in the 3-day cycle? Boy, this has been going down for a while. We have day 1 back here, 2 and 3, continue to break out. 1, 2, and 3. Breakout failed, low of week, day 1. But it continued to go down on the following day. So we still have day 1, day 2. Day 3 was not an inside day. We pinned down through the low. Day 1. Today was day 2 in the 3-day cycle. And Did we get all the way back up here? Kind of, not really. Opening range, we've closed on the outside of the opening range. Breakout traders still in the market, so be careful in that aspect. Yeah, we've been going down for a while. This is one of those pairs that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of previous day's low being hit. That's why I emphasize market structure so much, because you don't want to get caught being silly. All right, you don't want to get caught going long on something that's still going short. Yep. Oh boy, I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3, 1. All right, 2. So tomorrow's day 3. You can consider this first green day. In fact, I think I'm going to, based off of the opening range. I mean, we've been pumping or dumping for a while. Oh, the only thing I don't like, though, is we made a lower low. We just made a lower low. But we've got a long way to go up to make a lower high, so I don't know. I don't know about calling it a first green day. It's pumped up to its highs. I'm doing it. No. Yeah, I am. I think it's a lower probability. But what makes it higher probability is we did just make a higher high. If we get 3 pushes back down, we're outside of the opening range. If this is an opening range breakout, the possibility for a parabolic trend on Wednesday is there. Okay. Is it the most ideal? No. Am I like super excited about it? No. But do I want to provide at least an accurate idea of what's happening? Yes. And I made this little thing here, and if you want to take a picture of it or do whatever you like. Oh, dang, my face is in the way. There we go. This is really great if you're trying to figure out what is lower probability, first red day, first green day, what is higher probability, or what invalidates. Pause this, take a picture, do whatever you like with it. It's going away in 3, 2, and 1. And back to the analysis. Put my face back where it belongs. All right, day 3, I'm going to put in the first green day. Looking good. Someone said WTI. I'm going to get there. Happy you seeing in real time go back and forth like that, because when I do that, I feel like... I'm happy I'm seeing you in real time go back and forth. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, you're not always going to see it with absolute clarity, but it's the idea, right? It's all just about trading ideas. I have no idea what it's going to happen tomorrow, but I want to be well prepared for both scenarios. I've got my little thing. I know breakout traders still in the market. I know that we're above opening range high. We've closed out of balance on Tuesday. I know that this could be a first green day, and it could not. You know, lower probability. I showed you all that little picture. It's all about both sides. You know, if it presents, it presents, and if not, oh well. Or my idea is just totally wrong, and I can fully accept that. Please put back, hey, Sandra, just rewind the stream, right? Not to be rude, but you can just rewind it. All right, day 1, 3-day cycle on Friday, day 2. And it actually pulled back inside right here last minute, giving us day 1. So today was day 2. And I've just pulled up a whole bunch of nonsense. All right. Day 2. Tomorrow will be day 3. Just like that. Where have we closed? We have now broken out of the opening range, and we are now closed or trading down at previous week's low. Think what? Oh, Foo Bear. There he is. The man, the myth. The man who came. I think you're the one that came up with Stash of Cash. So, how you doing? Can you recount the days? I think they're Jasmine. Thought it was day 3 today. Day 1 on Friday, based off the breakout that failed. Day 2 was today, or sorry, Monday. It just barely closed back inside. So I made this day 1. Day 2, and then tomorrow's day 3. Anyone know how to add those vertical and horizontal lines? Hey, I went over it a few times, but I'll do it again. No big deal. If you just go to your trading view in your settings, pull up this little thing here, you can click on session breaks. It'll turn those on and off. And then for the horizontal ones, that is just a previous day high and low indicator, and I've changed it to circles. Okay. Good stuff. All right, so tomorrow, wow, I've got day 3 up here a couple times. Looking good. Tomorrow, day 3, we're hovering just above previous day or previous week's low. Market structure. I don't know. Looks like that could be a break to the upside, and this is all first mousetrap volume. So whenever it's questionable, I'll just do a little something like this, throw up a break in structure with a question mark, and I know, hey, are we working down into the low? Again, both sides of the scenario. We've closed outside of opening range. That means short. But if it goes short tomorrow and then works the low and does a little something like this, I'm prepared for both, right? On day 3 at the low of the week. Looking good. Looking good. Oh, wow, look at that. Same exact pattern, just a little bit different variation. 3 pushes out of consolidation. 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive. Okay, we've got WTI up there. Join Discord. Anyone know how to add those lines? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join the Discord, it's all free. Link should be down in the description. You just go down there, hit the little button. You can join. Lots of great information. A lot of experienced traders in there, a lot of newer traders in there as well, but lots of information being shared. And you can get the indicators and all the stuff that I talk about in there. All right. I see you. All right. You keep saying GJ. I see you and I feel it because I keep on talking and you're probably like, dude, please just get to GJ. I feel your pain. We're going to do it right now just for you. Opening range, we've closed as an opening range breakout. So, you know, we've made a new high. Something like this. This is our low all the way down here. And this is our high all the way up here. They broke this high, which means that we have a higher low formed, but the overall low is still kind of all the way down here. 3-day cycle-wise, we had a breakout, we believe, yep, high of the week. Breakout failed on the following day. So we have day 1, Friday, day 2, Monday, day 3 on Tuesday. We've continued the trend up. Day 1, tomorrow's day 2. In your chart setting, okay, thank you for helping out. Good stuff. Take a look and see 1, 2, and 3. So now we have 3 days at minimum. We might have more, I don't know. I saw 3 and that's all I need. 3 days of breakout traders are in the market, and I can put that up into our signal day. Remember, if I have a signal day, 3 days breakout traders in the market, I'm still willing to go long because this trend could continue on for another 6 days. The market does not care. But market structure will confirm that theory or thesis for me. All right. Let's go on to the NASDAQ. Let's go on to the, what in the world? That is the largest range inside day that I think I've ever seen. But it is an inside day nonetheless. We also have a breakout that has now failed at the low of the current week. So now we have day 1, and day 2 on an inside day as it should. Tomorrow will be day 3, 3-day cycle. After an inside day, we have not broken the high or the low of that inside bar, or of the previous day, of the opening range, right? Market will only do 2 things. Breakout, pullback, and trend. I guess it could be 3. It could break out and reverse and fail, and we would be looking for either the low of the opening range or preferably all the way back down at the low of the inside bar. So those are 2 options. Breakout, pullback, trend. Breakout, false break, reverse. And finally, and my least favorite, is this just turns into a double inside day. we don't hit either side of the range. Okay. Tomorrow, day 3, no, well, there is a signal day, inside day. Put this up here. Why did you count Friday as day 1? I didn't count Friday as day 1. On Monday, they broke out of Friday's low and then reversed on the following day above that breakout level, which means we had a breakout fail at the low of the week, which means Monday was day 1, Tuesday is day 2, and then tomorrow is day 3. Is opening range just Monday high and low? Yes, it is. Is initial balance Monday and Tuesday combined? Yes, it is. Hey, and to stop confusing yourself, the initial balance, if you want to draw that line across, it actually is very beneficial. But to remove a lot of confusion from people, I've stopped doing that. And I've just been drawing the opening range high and the opening range low, and then looking at the relationship of whether they close on Tuesday. Because that's really what's important. Okay? You said USD CAD. No. A day 0, they would have hit both sides of the range and pulled back inside. Something like this. I don't consider that day 0. I do consider it first green day, and we've closed outside of the opening range, so it could be a breakout. So that theory is still good. But as far as like the most ideal day 0, first green day, day 1, 3-day cycle, and whatnot, I'm not considering that. Just to make sure, should we shift day 3? Only after inside day. Yes. Day 3 is the only day that gets shifted and can do a repeat. Day 2 will never become a repeat, okay? Day 2 will never become a repeat. Euro GPY. Moving on. Day 1. Oh, almost got me. Just kidding. We had a day 1, 3-day cycle back here on this Tuesday. We had a breakout fail at the low of the current week. Day 1, day 2. Day 3 on this Thursday, we continue to break out and trend. Nice. So this day 3 becomes day 1. On the following day, we had day 2, 3-day cycle on this Friday. Following day, it was day 3. So day 1, day 2. Day 3 was an inside day. For that person who just asked, what do you do on day 3? You just move it over. Inside day, they have not even wicked. There was no wicks. There was no price. Nothing has touched these days. That means, or these levels, which means that it is an inside day. All right. Today was day 3. We broke out of the opening range and closed all the way up at the highs. All right. So we've closed outside of the range. We got a high and a low. Oh, no. We have breakout traders that have not been stopped out. So thinking about the other side of this trade. And to be honest, we've really broke out quite far. Probably a little bit higher than I would have liked to see. The same concept that we go over with 3 pushes up. We can look at 3 pushes within the month. We've got 1 drive. I draw my line. Now we have our second drive. So this could be the second drive up within the month. Oh, no. This is the first drive. This is the second drive. We could be into the third drive now. Ignore what I just said. We had the first drive out of consolidation was right here. They went into consolidation. So this is 1, 2, and now we are up into 3. So this could be the third drive up into... We could be in level 3 right now, all right? Which means going long from this point may not be smart. Which also makes me a little nervous about all of the other things that have looked fairly similar. And I'm probably going to go back and check and make sure that we're not in level 3 on a weekly scale on anything else. Which I will do, obviously, in this live stream so that everybody else is aware of what I'm doing. Day 3, what have I done? Oh, okay. Day 3 shifted over. So this was day 3. This day 3 is now day 1. Something like this. Tomorrow will be day 2 in the 3-day cycle. And I'll just go through the rest before I go back and check. Could you please explain levels? Absolutely. Absolutely. Pretty similar. And pretty to answer your question. Look, market was in consolidation. In fact, it was in consolidation all the way back here. Where was the last time that the previous day's low was hit? Right there. So we had this weekly high right here. They broke out. They broke out again. So this is level 1. Level 1 consolidation. Level 2. Level 2 consolidation. They broke out and went up into level 3. Level 3 consolidation. Let's see. Where did they break out? Up here. So this was something like this. So really we're up pretty high within this pair. And we have not hit previous week's low in forever. Yeah. Still closed on the outside of previous week's high, previous day's high, outside of the opening range. But I'm definitely going to be aware of where we were at, because it has been a pretty long time since this level down here has been hit. Count of day 1 is Friday on gold. All right. Inside day yesterday. Today was Tuesday, initial balance. We've closed outside of the initial balance. We have broken above the previous week's high. And the low is all the way down here until that high is broken. So we have end of day consolidation. Something like that. Check 3-day cycle. Actually, I think I have to go way back. Yeah, we had day 1, day 2, day 3. No, day 1, day 2. This is peak formation low, peak formation high. Day 3, parabolic move on day 3. Goes back to day 1. Day 2, day 3 was an inside day. And that means that today was day 3. And then tomorrow will be day 2. Something like this. Signal days. We have a lot of days of previous day's high being hit. Something like that. And I will get this up into that area. 3 days breakouts. 3 levels of rise and fall. Hey, so it's different. It's different. I consider the breakouts, the levels, you can do it with price action, and then you can also do it with actual numbered boxes, so don't confuse yourself between the two. High of year. Are we at the high of the year? Oh boy, yeah, we are. This is looking quite nice though. I mean, it's just a really smooth parabolic move. I hate when I do that. It's just terrible. Real smooth looking. They've been scooting right along. And you can see the levels a lot more clearly when I'm on the daily. So I think really I probably should have had it like this. Breakout, level 1. Breakout, level 2. So we actually might be in level 2. Anyway, that's beyond the scope of what we're talking about in this live stream. Tomorrow's day 2. We've had 3 days previous day's high. We're good. We're moving on. S&P. Holy cow. First thing that jumps out, these guys haven't been stopped out. We definitely have a break to the upside. We've closed outside of the opening range. And day 1, 3-day cycle, low of week. We have volume trap down low. Today was day 2. We didn't really necessarily know it was day 2, I don't think. Day 3. Okay, so this was day 3. And it was day 1, so we knew today was day 2. We just didn't know which direction. And that's why I say direction, and especially in that last video where I said direction is questionable when you have these trending models, a 3-day cycle, and you really need to pay attention to where's my low, where's my high, where's my 3 pushes. This was actually a really great short squeeze, but I wasn't looking at S&P today. All right. this is looking good. Day 2, tomorrow's day 3. Oh, I just was quiet for more than like 5 seconds. That was really weird. I don't want to do that again. Can you explain trap volume? Yep. Breakout. They start doing some weird things down here. You get 3 pushes out of consolidation. And a reversal. That's trap volume. Anytime where you catch the market and you catch the behavior of them breaking out of a level and driving into a low and then reversing out of that breakout level, you've got volume trapped. And I'm actually kind of mad at myself for not noticing that this little pattern here today, because this was beautiful. I really should have noticed this morning when I looked at it. Because this is a perfect short squeeze setup. Well-defined highs and lows. Break to the high, stop hunt to the low, and go. Not really mad at myself, but you know what I mean. I wish I would have seen it. So we had an inside day on Monday. And we've now closed. I don't know. This was the one that I was kind of just like, never mind. All right, let's go back and just take a quick glance at previous week's high and low, and I'm just going to get rid of that one. So I just track it with the previous week's high. They come out of the previous week's high, this rise, and then when they break out, that's level 1. And then you draw your line on the previous week's high level. When they break out of that again, if they close higher, we have level 2. So level 1, they've closed higher, level 2. We could be up into maybe level 3. So this would be like levels using price, using the breakouts. Are we up high? Yes. And that's why I've got this kind of marked down here. GJ. Breakout. Oh boy, where's... We've been doing that for a while though. I don't know. Probably just going to leave it alone. All right, but that's the idea behind the high, but oh goodness gracious, behind the levels. All right, if you have a consolidation could be a whole week's range, and just like I look at the daily chart to find the same exact pattern, you get a high and a low of the week, and they break out of that weekly range. When they break out of the weekly range and close, I know that this could be level 1, and then we have level 1 consolidation. They could consolidate, they could do whatever they like. But once they break that high and they close higher, I know that I'm now in level 2. Okay, and then whenever they do the same process over, they go into consolidation for the week. And then they rise up to level 3. Now I know we are in level 3. And that's the exact same thing for the weekly cycle, for the daily cycle, for the minute cycle. It's the same pattern every time. It's just on different time frames. All right, this is the point where I open up questions. I've been streaming now for 1 hour and 5 minutes, and I'll ask or answer questions, whatever you all have to ask. I'm here. This is the opportunity. If you all have questions, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to answer them. If not, I'm going to close the stream. Is there an hour rollover? Yes. And that's where I was kind of talking about the 4-hour candle opens at a weird time. Some charts do. Some charts open at 5. I always just go off of 5. So when the monthly, weekly, etc. correlate in levels of rise, this is Stacey Burke, 5-star, 3-star, 7. I don't know if that's exactly what he's looking at. He used to talk about PB. He used to talk about levels of rise. The way that I just explained it with breaking the highs and whatnot, that's how he used to explain levels of rise. That was a Steve Morrow concept. That was a beat the market maker concept. So I'm going to say that he may or may not have got it from him. I have no idea. But now he looks at it a little bit more simplistic, I think they're both simplistic, and I look at both. I think now he looks at more just numbered boxes. He looks at levels of rise using the numbers. Either one's correct. Both are just tools in the toolbox. Out of these categories, which is the best? Day 3? I don't really think that any of them are the best necessarily, but it depends on the pattern that presents on the day of the cycle, right? So if it's day 3 and you have a really great trap volume pattern at the low of the week, that might be the best one. What in God's green earth is going on out there? Anyway, if you have a first red day and it presents a really great pattern, that first red day might be the best. It really just depends on the pattern that presents itself. Can you draw Asian range on the chart? Okay. There it is. It goes from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock, the highest and lowest point in between those times. And it's kind of hard to see. I'll zoom in for you. There we go. I'm still confused about first red day, first green day. First red day, first green day is whenever, let's take a look. Big dump, previous day's low, they break lower first, they come back up, they close slightly above the high, I'm sorry, above the open. So if the open was right here, they traded down first, they traded through previous day's low, and then this would give you a good first green day because your pump started all the way up here. And you can look for maybe a few scenarios. Break structure to the upside, 3 pushes back down, move back up. Scenario 1. Scenario 2, peak formation low, peak formation high, consolidation in the middle, start doing a little channel on its way up, and parabolic move. Only 2 patterns that I care about. And then if you flip this over, there you go. First red day. Really appreciate what you're doing. Hey, it's my pleasure. I love doing it. Concurring 3-day breakout, traders going long. Will third day become invalid? The only time I invalidate the 3 days of breakouts is, or like restart the count. If they hit the previous day's low, I'll restart the count because they've just stopped out everybody at the low. I think that's what you're asking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get out of the stream. Thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate all of your participation and comments and everything you say on my videos. I have so much, great positive feedback. Y'all are wonderful. I mean it when I say best trading community out there. The Discord's really great. Y'all are doing fantastic. I love seeing y'all succeeding and doing better every single day. Next stream will be on Thursday. All right, Thursday, same time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Saturday, I will put out a video on the opening range and initial balance. So please check that out. You'll have a wonderful day. Take care of your families, and I will see you next time.